This is what?
Vlog for the jobskillshare.org.
This is Hadi right here and Danish. So we're here today
to answer all of your questions that you guys been requesting, and I feel really excited that I didn't expect a big reaction from you guys, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna love to answer all of your questions from the best of my knowledge and from my personal experience too. So Danish.
All right, so let me just do the questions. You focus on driving, okay, bro? We don't want to die, though.
I got you, man.
Okay.
The guy's been tailgating me, so anyways.
Yeah, the guy in front of us is really mad right now.
I pissed him off. He tried to speed up, but we got the twin turbos.
All right. So here, one other question. Interview questions. Like, how do you prepare yourself for interview?
Okay. One thing is, sometimes you don't know exactly what the other person's going to ask you. From my experience, I sometimes randomly sign up for interviews. In a way, I will put up my resume, they will call me on the phone, and I would just answer, talk to them. Because you know why? It boosts up your esteem, it boosts up your skills, your knowledge, and sometimes I would just do so terrible because I don't know the material. So
what you're saying is that do a lot of interviews to gain more confidence
as a practice. Okay,
yeah. So you can apply for places that you're not expecting to really get in, but maybe you'll get calls and you'll get more real world.
Exactly.
Kind of like you're basically going in there hands on, and you will know everything. Like
exactly.
People will ask you these questions. So that's kind of preparation. We were talking about preparation.
Sometimes what the other person will do is they will give you feedback. Like, for example, a long time ago, like at least 5-6 years ago, when I was looking for a job, I didn't have much experience under my belt, but I went for an interview and I totally flunked it. The other guy was asking me a question, was so hard-headed. He asked me some questions about building Active Directory from the scratch, doing something that was beyond my knowledge. So I'm like whatever. So later on, his assistant came in and she was like, "How did you do?" And I told her, the guy was a jerk. I didn't really like him, blah, blah, blah. She was like, "Let me give you a piece of advice. Go ahead, do yourself a favor, clean up your resume, go on LinkedIn, create a profile, and start networking."
Point, LinkedIn. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so how do you answer questions that you don't know? That's a good one.
Okay. Recently, last year, I got a call from Deloitte, and as you all know, or some of you don't know, but most of you know, Deloitte is a really prestigious firm. They only accept people who are up high there. I'm not trying to brag myself up, but I'm just saying that's what they're known for. Everybody knew college graduates, they love to apply at Deloitte and thinking, oh, we're gonna get it, we're gonna start a career, blah, blah, blah. So when I got the call, I was just surprised. I'm like, wow, they want me? Fine, I'll go ahead and submit my updated resume, applied. They called me 3 times. First interview was just a recruiter asking me for my basic knowledge, basic stuff, whether I qualify for a certain position. Then she set up me for a second interview with one of the specialists. He was based on a different state, but he was a pretty knowledgeable guy. He asked me questions about what I do with my current job and how can I take those skills and apply to Deloitte. So one thing I noticed is he asked me a question that I didn't know any answers of. I told him, "Sir, I don't know, but if you look at my resume, you can see there's certain projects they're listed, certain things they're listed that I've done in the past that I had no idea prior to taking on those tasks." So what I did, I prepared myself by research, by asking questions to my supervisors, my managers, and by learning on the spot and delivering a product on time. So I'm a fast learner, and I can guarantee you that if you hire me, I'll be able to give you a quality work.
So you're saying that the answer should be
your willingness to learn.
Willingness to learn, and also research in IT is one of the main thing. Like if you can research, that's all it's it.
Exactly.
That's all it is, right?
Because every day there's new technology, right? You can't be like just stuck in the old thing. You have to constantly research, and when you research, you should be able to apply the research and practically. So
That's actually a very good point. I have done a lot of interviews, and I just did it right now, senior IT support specialist position. And one of the CTO asked me, like, some of the things that he asked me about data and stuff. I was a little bit, I wasn't too confident about it. So I told him, look, there's one thing I am really good at is to find information on internet, and that can be Google, that can be the vendor site, that could be anything, but I can find it. I can work for it. This is something that I do. This is something that I'm good at. So they really like this answer. A lot of people love this answer because then, automatically they think that you're not going to be dependent on that person, right? So then you can...
Also, what it shows that you're being honest. You can't just go and BS say, oh, no, I already know this, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
Let me tell you one thing. They will find a guy who knows that stuff, and he will come ask you a question, and you'll be done. He's gonna ask you like.
Okay, so they will find out the way.
They will find out if you're lying or not. So better to be honest and be confident in your ability to learn quickly on the spot. Say, hey, I'm a quick learner. I can do it for you. Don't worry about it.
All right, another question. So there's a lot of young guys that want to get into IT right now.
Yeah.
Some of them are asking, is it enough to have just A+ certification to start help desk job?
Let me tell you one thing. My major was econ. I didn't have any certification, but I was in the process of getting some. I got lucky. I applied for an internship. I got an internship. But in my previous video, I mentioned the internship turned out to be a full-time job. So, what I will tell you from my personal experience, yes, you can get a tier 1 support job from just A+ and your college degree if you have it. If not,
And can you get it without A+? That's another question.
that would be hard, in my opinion.
I would say now, right? Because the competition is so...
Yes, so many people out there with so much under their belt. Even the ones with no experience, they have so many certifications under their belt. They will get hired before you. But if you have a college degree that's related to IT or some way of technical thing, they'll sometimes take that under consideration and they hire you.
Awesome. So, what about somebody asked that security side? I want to be more of a security IT specialist, like going into security plus. So, what type of certification would you recommend them? Kind of like a pathway to become that.
Okay, I have a friend who just.
And you're CEH too, right? You're
I'm a
CEH
CEH.
certified. Right?
Yes. So here's the thing. Security fields are pretty advanced. They expect you to know the fundamentals, the basics of the IT world from the beginning. Sometimes, if you have a college degree, let's say cybersecurity degree, and you're freshly graduated from college, you can get a job, a tier 1 security job easily, no problem. But if you're somebody with like a college, like a econ degree or business degree, and you're trying to get into a starting position for security, it's going to be a little bit tough because they expect you to know the basics of the IT world. So my recommendation, what I would tell you, what I have seen in my life is sometimes people get the entry-level certification, A+, Never Plus, Security Plus. Then they apply for...
I think A+ is the base. Like,
Base,
if you get A+, it's a good way to tell other people that you have...
You know your stuff.
You know your stuff. Like, you know that... it's all about terms, too. Like, people start using these terms, technology terms. So it's better to know your base,
Yep.
So A+, I think for any job, I would say it's a good certification. Even non-IT...
Even let's say you're able to get Security Plus and Never Plus before A+, that's still fine. A lot of people put the Security Plus and Never Plus on the heavier side than the A+, because A+, it's in a different field. It's mainly for hands-on experience and things like that.
So other question is that I am more, this one person would say that, he's more interested in networking. Specifically, he's talking about Cisco. That's meaning switching, routing, thing like that. And he's thinking that, is it okay for me to start from help desk and then move up? Can I do that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Anything is possible in IT world. You don't really have to be stuck at one place. That's the beautiful part about IT world is that you can go from point A to point B, but there's multiple ways to reach from point A to point B. You can go, up and down, forward, whichever way you want to do, you can do it, and you'll enjoy every single path because every path is going to be a big learning curve for you guys. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is that yes, let's say you're help desk support, which is good because you know the basics of the computer, how a network, how everything works. If you have certification like CCNA, anything that's higher certifications, my opinion is that you will definitely be able to move up easily. If not, then it'll be a little work. You might not get a higher pay, but you will definitely be able to get into the world easily. Just have to show them that you have the skills on the paper and on your
Yeah, so in my experience, I think what people are trying to do, if you're new to IT, help desk or any entry-level positions like IT support, entry-level, user support technicians, these are great positions. You can start something, and this will tell you, because as a help desk person, you might be putting your hands on each of these domains, security, networking, all of these, and then you figure out, what do you really like? Do you really like system administration? Because when you go to system administration, you are not talking to user a lot. I can tell you that. You're not that person. You're going to be working with vendors a lot, meaning that Microsoft, or calling them, Cisco, calling them, troubleshooting the problem. So you're going to be on the side a little bit. Yeah, you do work with users. That's going to be other power users that you're going to be working on, like programmers, web guys, and all that. But help desk and the other side, the IT support specialists, they specifically work with users. So there's a little difference. So then you can find out, what do you want to do? Do you want to be that person to, always want to work with people, or you want to be on the side?
Another thing I want to mention is that sometimes, let's say you're really advanced in one field and you switch to the different field. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get money, really high money. That's not always the case, because you don't have the experience, but you're coming to the new field, they're going to give you a little bit less money than somebody with a little bit higher experience doing the same thing as you. So don't get discouraged, because what I would recommend is stick around, get some knowledge.
All right, guys, we're going to keep this vlog, since we are two right now, we're going to keep it under 15 minutes. So at the end, I'm going to tell you guys this, and I'm going to let Hadi talk at the end too, that recently I just got offered a senior IT support specialist position. For some reason, I turned it down. That's just a personal reason. But I can tell you one thing, that there was an important point out there, and I've noted that in the beginning of the video, is LinkedIn. You need to have a LinkedIn account, right? Because this whole offer, everything that went by, it was because it started from LinkedIn. So you need to get LinkedIn account. You need to be. Another thing is that I want to tell people that we have 500 users in our group. So the way I want to do this is, you get into that group and start connecting with other users. If you don't have a profile, that doesn't have a lot of
One
people.
thing I want to add on to this, my last words would be, how I moved up. Everybody asked me. It's not because I know someone. It's because I network the heck out of everything. I meet people, I approach them, I talk to them. Recently,
guys.
for example, before we go, I was in Dubai recently, walking around on the beach, and this old gentleman eating his food, talking, looks at my shirt, say, oh, that's a nice shirt. This is Washington, D.C. I'm like, yeah, from D.C. Got in a conversation about cultures and religion, things like this. Really nice guy, humble guy. But before he left, he gave me his card. He's like, hey, son, whenever you get a chance, shoot me an email.
Networking.
Shoot me an email or your resume, and I'll keep in touch with you. I looked at the card. You guys won't believe it. See, Cisco's white VP.
Hey, call me as VP guy. And okay, the last question. This guy asked, why are you so angry, Hadi, all the time?
Man, whatever, man. It's time's up.
We're just messing.
Everybody's getting married. This guy got married. I'm the only one left alone,
All right, guys. I'll see you guys on a different vlog, and he's going to be also making more. So if you have more questions, drop it down under this video. We'll make another one on top of these questions. Thank you.
Peace.